Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm coming on today to talk to you about the September 29th full moon in Aries. I hope you're all feeling really good and enjoying some of the very strong, fiery, direct energy coming in during this time. Yes, here we do have the Mars applying to South Node in Libra. We have the Sun trailing right behind it, and at the same time, opposite, we have the full moon in Aries. We have a very strong activation of the Aries-Libra axis here, with Chiron, of course, also being in Aries. Yes, let's talk about the way that this time is changing us. Okay, so yes, I feel that tolerance for a lot of people is declining during this period of time for things which are stagnant or overbearing or overdone. This is a very strong growth of the fire element, as of course we have both air and fire so strong with this transit. Of course, we still have Venus in Leo, and we have a really strong feeling of what was once a small motivation growing a lot here, or what was once a small flame really growing. So this is going to be a really good full moon to think along these lines. What do I need to put some more motivation into? What do I need to grow more during this time? What do I also need to leave behind? And how can I get stronger through that? So I was talking in the October Comprehensive Astrology about how there's a speed up in metabolism, or there's a quicker way that people are going to be energizing through this time. We've had kind of through this first 3 quarters of 2023 a slowing down and a thoughtfulness, and that's going to start to change here as people may become slightly less thoughtful and more active. So this is a period of time where we start to, if you're a fiery person, if you have a lot of fire in your chart, this is going to be very welcome, as the more slow, perhaps even sluggish nature of these previous few months will conclude here, and it will become really clear how you can progress in alignment with your purpose. So a lot of people have been confused along those lines. I think that people have kind of been seeking something to do, or there's been like kind of a feeling of a hammer seeking a nail, and now that can be found here. Okay, so what does that mean? This period of time, this full moon, it's going to reveal and illuminate very clearly what is an appropriate use of energy. So if you've been like lacking a goal, or if you've been kind of like misplaced or forlorn feeling, this is a really good chance to finish that. Why is that the case? Mars, moving up towards the South Node in Libra, is going to get our deep internal, perhaps even ancestral motivations very clear and direct, so it's not going to be so hidden. The previous South Node in Scorpio was more of a kind of like mysterious way to discover these deeper understandings, or these deeper wants, wishes, or motivations. With Mars approaching the South Node in Libra, that's going to really show us what the South Node in Libra wants. So we're going to get like a very clear, almost written out, spelled out understanding of how we're inclined. And this can actually cause a shift in identity, I feel, for a lot of people, where they start to alter or reduce also the aspects of themselves that are no longer in alignment, and instead they start moving towards what matches their true self more. So this is a really nice full moon to start over in certain ways, or to really start evoking who you are and not having to hide, and not having to put on masks, not having to be concealed or secluded. Okay, this is a great moon for going out on a limb for some people. This is a great moon also for being upfront, or showing people who you are, telling people what the name of your game is now. We're getting into this more competitive Aries energy, with Mars, of course, being on the axis of the full moon in Aries. That increases and augments the natural energy of Aries, whereas what would always at this time of year be the full moon in Aries, we also have Mars activating it. So this is going to be a growth in sacred masculine energy, if you would like, meaning that you can directly and clearly reach for what you're feeling, or you can be clear in your purpose. You don't have to kind of go underground. You don't have to move silently here, okay? You don't have to be coy, all right? You can really be clear and direct and get a lot further ahead. And a lot of people, because this is the moon, right? This is a lunar transit. This is going to be about getting direct with yourself, okay? I think that a lot of people might be kind of skirting the edges of what they truly want. And you can kind of like definitely get into the journal during this time, or just have a nice dialogue with yourself and reveal to yourself how you've changed, what you want moving forward, and how you're going to go about that. What this also means, I feel this to be a disrupting moon. Okay, so I feel old cycles will be disrupted by this. Many of you might have felt this leading up to this full moon through September, where there was this feeling of the previous status quo not being viable anymore, yet with this advanced Pluto in Capricorn, which is still retrograde at 27 degrees at this point in time. It's hard to make grand changes, but you could see small changes that are like, at the end of the day, the changes that actually motivate something tangible, okay, a real tangible change, the small changes. That's what Virgo season of 2023 was about those like really small shifts that are seismic at the end of the day. This continues that, so maybe this is like the consistency of those small changes or the continuation, and then through that a really strong awakening of how our purpose changes, or what we're more adapted for based on these small changes that we're making. So that's going to cause major disruption of the previous habits, though, and major disruption of some of the comforts that some of us have to. This is not a very comfortable moon, okay? So maybe some of us are doing exercises we haven't done before. Maybe we're also acclimating to certain knowing, okay, like I have to go there to do this and I haven't done it yet, but I know it has to happen, or I know that I have to have this treatment, or I know that I have to have this specific qualification, but I haven't done it yet. And, people anticipate their battles during this time. And then some people will really just march into battle with, of course, the sign of war, right? Aries. So there could be conflicts during this time. There could also be anger, tantrums that are so strong that a final resolution is reached and life-changing events happen. Definitely on the global stage, you could see certain conflicts or aggressions here, a ticking up of that, or such a strong worry or anxiety of like what has to be done in order to get somewhere, that people can also throw their hands up and withdraw during this time. So surrenders could be seen, or just some kind of change in the status of some kind of conflict is definitely likely here. But it could also be at an internal level. So we might see it happen in a very confirmable way, but there might just be like an internal knowing like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And this is very personal. This is like not even at these more macro levels. It's like people hit their breaking point sometimes with a transit like this. Mars conjunct the South Node opposite full moon in Aries. Libra Aries axis, people can go over the edge. Okay, you can see mental breakdowns here. You can see physical breakdowns as well. Stress injuries, okay, resolutions that have to be made, emergencies like fire alarms, alarms, any type of signal, sirens, signals that say, okay, the peace is disrupted. That can happen here, or people can also strategize in a way that reclaims their peace or steps them back into a less chaotic place. Auras, okay, aura healing, aura sort of surveying, like what is the state of your aura? You can, anybody, regardless of how perfectly spiritual you are or how peace-oriented and successfully peaceful you are, I feel that this is a period of time where certain hardships are queued up so that people can be reminded of like how capable they are of reacting, or how prepared they are, how much also they're in unison with the people around them, as there's a very strong disorientation or disintegration right now of people being like on the same page. So it's hard if you're reliant on a lot of people to motivate people towards what you're wanting. So it's better to like kind of do these things ourselves. Okay. The independent people have an easier time, right? Aries is like the most independent sign of the zodiac. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So this is going to be one of those situations also, like if you're going through something that's really complicated, as a lot of people are, right now, some like very tangled, knotted, complicated things, you can't try to get other people to do it. Okay. A lot of people have to step into their own authority and really take stock of also their mindsets that go against themselves. So how we stand behind ourselves, right? Sign of Aries, working with the most healthy Aries archetype, being totally and fully behind yourself, knowing what is and is not healthy, not compromising, not letting fluke anxieties or kind of like overwhelm cause you to work against yourself. That's a major thing that we can work on during this full moon in Aries, and that's very tied to then the next 2024 year cycle. So this period of time, this whole Libra season, and then leading up to Scorpio and Sag, is going to be like this, like, am I on my side or not? Okay, that's the most important thing that I can tell to you in this full moon in Aries video, because that's not just isolated this period of time, but I would see an opportunity during the September 29th full moon to really stake it out and be like, am I on my side or am I working against myself? Is there a self-fulfilling prophecy working here? Is there some kind of like mistrust? Am I working hard enough for myself? Am I over employing myself? Am I overworking myself? Like rebalancing, right? Mars in the South Node in Libra, rebalancing the budget of life, the energy expenditures, the money expenditures as well. But we're getting less and less monetary, you guys. Like I've got to say, like, since we've changed nodal axis, this is much more just about your life force energy and about your trust and about systems that you already have. Okay. We're stepping more and more out of that super monetary experience, which is probably good, because I will say October 2023, if you saw in my comprehensive astrology, we're looking at a lot of like reduction. Okay. So it's very possible to have like less money, or to have like, even if you have all the money in the world, like you're not going to want to feel like it's going away. Like everybody's going to have this feeling in October of lack if they wanted to see it. Therefore, we're really transcending and looking at, okay, what other sources of value do I have in my life? Try to not be too monetarily focused here. Rather work on matters of life force energy and getting on your own side. Anyway, everyone, I'm going to conclude short and simple today, as it would be with a full moon in Aries video. Have a great full moon, and get onto your side, get behind yourself, and look at how you are spending your energy. Subscribe below also if you're new, and all 12 readings are available on Patreon for October 2023. They should be available now. If they are not, they will be in the next day or so. And comment below and let me know how you're doing with this change in energy. Much love. Bye.